Since people want to know why we can't be deported, let's start from the beginning. This is a slave ship with some of our ancestors on board. These are our ancestors, the original cotton pickers, which we are not ashamed of. These are also our ancestors, and you can see there's a picture of the White House in the background with them saying, "We built it." And they did. They also built the U.S. Capitol. They built the first Smithsonian building called the Castle. Our ancestors also built the private residences of several American presidents. They were not just laborers, they were also skilled construction workers. Our enslaved ancestors built the oldest and most elite universities in the United States of America, including Harvard, Yale, Georgetown, Princeton, Columbia, you name it, our ancestors
when they do that, they're trying to reframe the narrative so that they can attack it and control it, but they can't. The lineage and our delineation is a power move that they were not expecting. This is whooping everybody's ass. They are trying to contain it. These people are very upset that we have stopped the tethering. They are very upset that we've stopped the abuse. We've stopped the hustling of us. You understand? Yeah, if anybody says Tariq is the leader, that's them deliberately lying, wasting your time.
You got Tariq Nasheed gaining such a following because he's abusive in his verbiage, he's abusive in his rhetoric, and he's here to divide. And his psychology is that of a pimp. All of his books prior to his Black liberation, Black nationalist, Black power movement, all his books was about being a player and a pickup artist.
So here we are again. So now this time it's Dante Cal. Now I told you guys, these guys say that they want everything to be inclusion, all inclusion, right? So they want us to be all inclusive. While they carry their flags, they gatekeep their own culture, but we gotta leave our door wide open. It has to be an open door policy. The minute we start doing exactly what they do, I told you it's gonna be a problem. And some of these people is gonna be people that's homegrown, right here from the soil. Now I'm hearing that he's biracial, and a lot of his biracial side is coming out. I don't really know too much about this cat, but I seen him, and I seen many like him that talk the way that he talks, right? So he goes after Tariq Nasheed, but think about it, right? Everything is one-sided. I told you guys, the Pan-Africans can do whatever they want to do. These other immigrants come, they can say whatever they want to say about Black Americans, but we are not allowed to have our own voice because you're not supposed to have a culture. You are supposed to be just wayward people, right? Wayward people that need direction, and everybody's supposed to come and tell you what to do. The minute you start thinking for yourself, you become a problem to everybody else because your dysfunction is profitable for everybody else. This is why they never ever promote the positivity of Black culture. They only talk about your underbelly, right? I mean, it's so bad that these groups come here and they say that they don't have a problem saying that they're not Black. They don't have a problem saying that you came here on slave ships as cargo. They say all kinds of disparaging things about you.
Very, very clear. America's physical infrastructure was built on enslaved labor, not no damn immigration. Before mass immigration, all of that stuff began, the core economic foundation, ladies and gentlemen, of this nation, it was already laid. Foundation of Black American labor, we built the roads, the ports, the plantations, the canals, the rail beds, the government buildings, entire cities across the South and parts of the North, ladies and gentlemen. And the wealth generated from our labor financed all the banks, all the universities, all the insurance companies, all the shipping industries. All of early industrialization came from foundational Black American labor. The immigrants followed the goddamn infrastructure. They didn't create it. Don't let these people tell that lie.
And so let's talk about Black American inventions. From the late 1800s to 1940, Black Americans were awarded around 50,000 patents, more than immigrants from every country except England and Germany. And that doesn't even include the inventions stolen from enslaved people who legally couldn't patent anything. From the national defense standpoint, Black Americans have been central to the United States military story from the very beginning, not as side characters, but as foundational defenders of the nation long before we were granted full rights. So our journey in the United States of America has taken us from here to here. And someone wants to know why we can't be deported. So let's clear this up. Some people just found out, and they found out the hard way, that Black Americans can't be deported, and they're upset about it. Well, let's get some basic things out the way. Black Americans are not immigrants. That's why we can't be deported. We are a native-born ethnic group whose citizenship is rooted in the Constitution itself. That's why we can't be deported. The 14th Amendment, which was ratified in 1868, guarantees birthright citizenship to anyone born on U.S. soil. This amendment was written specifically to secure the citizenship of formerly enslaved Black people because they had been productive in this country. That means our citizenship is not conditional, revocable, or dependent on visas, green cards, or immigration status. So when people talk about deportation, they're talking about immigration law. Black Americans are not part of that system. We are citizens by constitutional design.
Who remembers when anybody else who was a part of the African diaspora used to differentiate themselves from us? Like, oh, I'm not Black, I'm Jamaican. I'm not Black, I'm Haitian. I'm not Black, I'm Panamanian. But now it's like, bro, we're all Black. I don't know.
I don't identify myself as a Black person anymore. I identify myself as a Jamaican person. I'm Jamaican.
I've always identified as a Grenadian.
American one, I'm not Black. Everybody was shocked at that statement. Like, you're not Black? What are you then? Like, I'm a person. What is a Black? So what are you? Yellow, like with lemonish green? What is
with? It's difficult because I don't identify as being Black. Also, like I was
not Black, I'm African.
They're not Black?
No. It's a big difference. You know what I'm saying? I came in a plane, they came in chains. Yeah, I'm passenger in their cargo.
And I was 17 to go to college. So I will start off with the fact that I never really saw myself as a Black person growing up. I still don't. Of course, it's something
else. I'm not Black. This is Black. I'm not Black. I'm not African either. I live in Africa. I'm Somali. I speak Somali. This is my flag.
I don't like this. Like, why are you telling me I have to do this because I'm Black when it's been already pointed out that I'm Haitian? Why do I now have to submit to this idea of being Black? That makes absolutely no sense to me. And that's what you don't get. A lot of people are
Black. I have never and will never identify myself as Black. And I'll elaborate as to why I'm saying this, because this is needed in your, so you can pretty much understand that just because I look like you, that does not mean I identify myself as such. So for instance, sweetheart, I am Congolese.
But they do all this while at the same time wanting to identify with your culture, right? But at the same time saying that you don't have a culture. But they want to latch on to your accomplishments and your worldly influence and say that, well, yeah, that comes from African culture. What you're doing, it started in Africa and you brought it to America and it evolved in America. But because you are African DNA, all that stuff was on the continent first. These are the things that they say while at the same time saying that you don't have a culture. While at the same time saying don't be around those people. So they want your rhythm but not your blues. Right? They want to be a part of what you're doing, but then don't want to be associated with you at the same time. These are the things that they do. That's why they talk like this.
Yeah, I'm a child of African immigrants. And I'm gonna just say the reason why like most people, like most Africans, like see you as African is because like just like literally looking at your features, like you carry the bloodline of peoples who evolved to survive and are indigenous to Africa. Like when we see you, we don't like we're not looking at a European. We're looking at somebody who's indigenous to the continent where we came from.
Hold on, let me respond to that because that would align with what I said before. That's superficial, right? Just, oh, you look like me, right? That's just not enough to try and erase someone's entire lived experience. Like from 400 years, our paths have diverged, right? And so just looking like you is not enough to just try and reclaim us as something else when we've lived completely different lives for the past 400 years and have had completely different admixtures going on, right, for the past 400 years. But go ahead with your second point.
Yeah. The second point is that Black Americans are like a lot of Africans are too prideful to admit it, but Black Americans are a cultural like superpower. Like you guys have a lot more influence than a lot of people realize. And like if you were to identify like as African actively, like it would bring like a lot more like credibility and like respect.
Oh my God!
Like,
so they want to take our fucking like they want to take our sparkle, like they want to.
Not
like,
that. It's just that it's like something you can be proud of.
They need to put in
like
the work.
It's not wanting to take away your like what you built, but it's just that it's something that an African can be proud of. Like these people who have accomplished this and this, like are also like from the same lineage as us. Like that's all it is. It's just like a pride thing. Like,
so they want to basically, they just want to grow themselves onto like the good shit. Like they want our rhythm, but not our blues.
That's why we can't be deported legally. Black Americans didn't migrate here. We were forced here. And after centuries of unpaid labor, state violence, and legal exclusion, the country amended its constitution to make sure our citizenship could never be questioned again after the Dred Scott decision, which I'm not going to talk about here. But that is why we are embedded in the Constitution. Now, I have shown you how productive Black Americans have been and continue to be in this country. So these are some things to consider. Enslaved Africans and their descendants built the economic foundation of the United States. That's why we can't be deported. After the Civil War, there were active attempts to deny Black people citizenship. The 14th Amendment was the federal guarantee that no state, no politician, no agency could strip Black Americans of their citizenship. That's why we can't be deported. So when somebody says they ought to be deported or deport them, they're revealing that they don't know American history or the reason the 14th Amendment exists in the first place. The amendment that they're trying to ride their little bit of citizenship on. So if you're upset that Black Americans can't be deported, that means you don't understand the country you moved to. Black Americans are not guests. We are not visitors. We are not temporary. We are citizens whose ancestors paid the highest price for this nation's existence. You don't have to like it, but you have to respect the history.
They ain't involved in nothing outside. They ain't doing shit outside. They on the internet looking for niggas that look just like them to degrade and call tethers all day. I don't see these niggas doing no work against none of these fucking Nazis, none of these fucking Klansmen, nothing. All I see is them niggas calling out other Black people all day. That's divisive as fuck.
Okay. Ain't that what you doing? Ain't that what you're doing? How is that divisive? And that's just what you're doing. You ain't outside. You're too big and fat to be outside. You inside eating. Deontay. So again, all of that trying to frame FBA as a group that's outside and all that stuff. Well, you got a straw man argument about a group that don't exist, and you're complaining that the non-existent group is not outside doing group stuff. Yeah, there is no group outside because there is no group called Foundational Black American. Foundational Black American, ladies and gentlemen, is a lineage of 43 plus million people. That is the only thing Foundational Black American is. It is nothing more, nothing less. If your lineage goes to the beginning of this country, you are a Foundational Black American. You don't have to walk around with a shirt that says FBA. You are a Foundational Black American by logic. You don't have to join a group. You don't have to join a cult. It's none of that stuff. It is an ethnic identifier. Nothing more, nothing less. Now, they know this. Let's be very clear. He's not dumb. Again, these are Democrat shield talking points. Because the Democrats know they lost because of delineation. This delineation is whooping everybody's ass. And they're talking about being divisive. See, it's only divisive when we want to say, hey, we are our own unique ethnic group. We are on code with each other. We got a lot of these weirdos out of our mix, and we're looking out for our best interest. See, these Democrat shills, and the Democrats send these people out here because, see, they're upset because right now in the country, as we see, we are not being abused as Foundational Black Americans, ladies and gentlemen. For the first time in a long time in history, other groups are being targeted right now. We are not. I knew that we were not going to get targeted. We are not being targeted, and they don't like that. These people, the DNC, they don't like that. We are not being targeted. We got on code and said, hey, wait a minute, no. We ain't about to jump out here on the sword for everybody. So now they got all of these federal militarized police out here. And you know, if they've been doing all this training, they got to release some of this training on somebody. So it's always supposed to be us. They done all this training, so they got to release on somebody. So it's supposed to be us, but it's not us. We ain't jumping out there because we let people know this immigration thing is not our fight. We are not immigrants. We, ladies and gentlemen, are not immigrants, and we don't want to be compared as immigrants. We're standing on lineage business, and they don't like that because that's making us powerful. So now we're getting on code with each other based on lineage. There is no leader of no damn lineage. It is impossible to have a leader of a lineage. Anytime people say that, they're doing it to be disrespectful, and they're trying to minimize the impact of the delineation movement because they know it's powerful and you cannot latch on to it. But people expect us, Foundational Black Americans, to go out here and take all of the abuse for everybody else. That's the name of the game. They want us to go out here and take the abuse for the Somalis. Oh, they're not supposed to get harmed. Now you got white people out here getting harmed. Oh, that's definitely not supposed to happen. Where are the black people? Come on, black people. Come on out here and step up. Get on out there, Don Lemon. That's why they're getting all the Democrat shills to go out there to do the sacrificial falling on the sword. And they're trying to encourage us. We're not doing that. We're not going out there. We ain't doing that. No. We're not immigrants. The immigration thing is not our battle.
2026 And it seems like the delineation movement and FBA has not lost steam. It is gaining momentum. Being that it is going into the midterms and is around election time, it seems like they have ramped up the attacks on FBA and anybody that's perceived to be its leader, namely Tariq Nasheed and others. But, you know, the hard thing is, it's not a group, it's a lineage. Just like the people been telling you, you know, FBA is a lineage, you know what I'm saying? Either you're part of it or you're not. And other people can't tether on to it. And that's been the problem. It seems like they tried to erase black culture and black history since the beginning. And the ancestors are not letting that happen. I'm telling you, I'm here to tell you, the ancestor, that spiritual energy, if you know, you know. But that spiritual energy is alive and well in 2026, and I'm here for it. Tell me what you think about this video in the comments, and as always, like and subscribe to the channel. Once again, it's your man Kris B. Peace.